let's travel together back to the 12th century and explore Central Europe's largest castle, Spiš Castle, also called in Slovakian Spissky Hrad, which is located in Eastern Slovakia. This mighty castle forms one of the largest castle sites in all of Central Europe. The castle is situated above the town of Spissky Hrad and the village of Zara in the region known as Spiš. It was included in the UNESCO list of World Heritage Sites in 1993, being of the largest European castles, where its total scale stands at around 41,426 square meters. By the end of the 11th century was the southern part of the territory conquered by the Kingdom of Hungary. In the second half of the 12th century was the royal county of Szepes created. In the decade of 1250, the border of the Kingdom of Hungary shifted to the north to the Podolínec, and in 1260 even further to the north towards the Dunajec River. The northern border of the county stabilized in the early 14th century. Around the year 1300, the royal county became a noble county. Many of the towns of Spiš were developed from the German colonizations who had been invited to the territory from the middle of the 12th century and onwards. The settlements founded by them in southern Spiš were mainly mining settlements that in later years became towns. In the year of 1412, under the Treaty of Ljubovna, were 16 towns, 2 castles and several villages in the region handed over to Poland by Sigismund of Luxembourg to finance his wars with the Republic of Venice in Dalmatia. In the year 1772 were all these annexed by the Austrian Empire. In the year of 1868, 21 Spiš settlements sent their demands that became known as the Spiš Petition to the Kingdom of Hungary, where they requested a special status for Slovaks within the kingdom. The southern part of Szepes were conquered by the Kingdom of Hungary at the end of the 11th century, when the border of the kingdom ended near Kesmark. The mighty castle was built in the 12th century on the site of an earlier castle, where it was the political, administrative, economical and cultural center of the Szepes county of the Kingdom of Hungary, where afterwards, until the year of 1528, the castle was owned by the kings of Hungary, before the year 1464, where afterwards, until the year of 1528, was by the Zápolyia family, until the Thurzo family took over in the years between 1531 to 1635, where afterwards the Spissky family took over between 1638 till 1945, and has since then been by the state of Czechoslovakia, eventually when the country became into the now called Slovakia. Originally a Romanesque stone castle with fortifications, was by the second half of the 13th century a 2-story Romanesque palace and a 3-nave Romanesque Gothic basilica constructed on the site. A second external settlement was built in the 14th century, which led to the castle area becoming doubled in size. It became completely transformed in a new shape, where the castle walls were heightened and a third external settlement was constructed. Around the year 1470 was a Gothic chapel added as well. The Zápolyia clan performed late Gothic transformations, which made the upper castle into a comfortable family residential area, where it was typical of the late Renaissance residences of the 16th and 17th centuries. The Spissky family abandoned the castle in the early 18th century and moved then to the nearby built palace in Chodkovce near Zara and Spissky Hrad. The mighty Spissky castle was destroyed eventually in a mighty fire in the year 1780. The cause of the fire is still unknown. However, many theories came eventually forward, where one of them was that the Spissky family purposely burnt it down to reduce the payments for the taxes to the kingdom. After the mighty fire, the castle was no longer occupied and began to fall into disrepair, until it was partially reconstructed in the second half of the 20th century. Today, most of the reconstructed sections house displays of the Spiš Museum, along with artifacts such as torture devices formerly used in the castle, like in the rest of old Europe.